So I'm just going to confirm your full name. Is it Bapak Erick
Rahmat
Moertabat.
Yeah.
And you are actually an Indonesian, is it?
Well, my nationality is Surinamese, but I'm Indonesian descendant. So you can say technically yes, Indonesian, but legally and officially not. So saya ini orang Jawa, tapi bukan orang Jawa, tapi bukan WNI.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So you are Suriname.
Yes.
Yes, and you've been an ambassador.
Yes, I've been appointed as the ambassador of Suriname to the Republic of Indonesia, starting November last year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I've been wondering because there's a lot of Javanese people living in Suriname, and they became like in a government officials, right? Like you, for instance, in Suriname. It's been amazing. Is it hard at first, or is it you find your own route when you moved into Indonesia?
Well, actually, I've been here in 2004. Maybe you have heard me speaking just now. When I was still a little boy, I spoke to my dad, and on that day we had found a photo, a picture of a lady in white jare, in that white clothing, Javanese clothing. So I asked him that, who is this woman? And he told me, this woman, whenever you have the chance to go to Indonesia, you should find this lady because she is your aunt. That was way back. I think it was, I can't remember how old I was by that time, but when I started coming here to Indonesia in 2004, I got a chance, and I told my dad, I said, wow, this is your chance to find this lady. So I came in 2004 and started searching for this lady. And I was a student at the Gajah Mada University. I was doing the language course for 8 months, I think. And after that, I shifted to University Negeri Yogyakarta for my educational management study. So while I was looking for information about this lady, I asked students of Gajah Mada University, and to my surprise, it was so difficult for me to get the information because they don't know, and I couldn't understand why they don't know about this place called the Sosorowajan. They don't know, and then I was told that, you see, Pak Rahmat, these are students from the university, but they are not from Jogja. They come from outside. So we have a lot of students coming from outside studying in Jogja, but they don't know the places in Jogja. Because I asked them, do you know where this Sosorowajan is? And they know it is here somewhere in Bantul, but they didn't know exactly where. So for me, it was a little bit difficult to find my roots. One day I went with my wife to the airport with the hope to find some information about this place, this Sosorowajan, and I thought of, okay, let us go to the tourist information center, and maybe they would know because it's an information center, so they should know. But again, to my surprise, they couldn't tell me. Those people who were there for information, they couldn't give me and provide me the information I needed. And suddenly I heard someone said in Indonesian, bisa saya bantu, Pak? So I turned to that man and said, yes, Pak, I would like to know where this Sosorowajan is. Because when I came here, my father told me, you should look for your aunt. Her name is Jumira, Ibu Jumira, and she lives in this Sosorowajan in Bantul. So I got 3 kinds of information 3 times. It was the name of the person, the name of the village, and also of the kabupaten.
But not the complete address.
Well, actually, it was incomplete. So I had first to search for this Sosorowajan and ask the people in that village about this lady. So this man behind us at the airport told me that, okay, from where you came, you go back and then you turn left where the flyover is, and then you will see a billboard, a big billboard. On the billboard you see written Akacom. So when you reach that part of the road, you turn right, and then you follow the road. You go, just follow the road straight, and then you will see a road leading to Desa Sarawaja, crossing the sawah fields.
Okay, so complete and detailed.
Yes. So I got that information from this person. So I told my wife, this is the first clue that we have. So, for me it was amazing because first, I only have the name of this aunt of mine, and second, I have never seen her. I have never known her. Meeting her will be a very, there will be a lot of emotions with it.
Yeah.
So I was, in one way, very insecure, and the other way, I was very curious. So we went, we followed the instruction, we saw the billboard, Akacom, we went into the road, we followed that, and then suddenly I stopped. And my wife asked me, why are you stopping? I told her, I stopped because, look there.
The billboard?
No, not the billboard, the street name.
Oh,
the street name,
okay.
You see there's a street name, and it says Jalan Sarawajan.
Oh, okay.
So my heart started beating very hard. I was afraid, I was anxious, I was very curious. I was not sure how I should feel. So we decided to go on, and the first thing what we did is to stop and ask an old man, because that's the logic, right? So because this Ibu Jumira should be an old lady, because she was young in the photo and now she should be old.
Changed totally.
Yeah. So we asked someone who was working on this in this crop field, and then with my broker Indonesian that time, I asked him, Pak, kami ini orang Suriname mencari orang yang namanya Ibu Jumira. Can you help me? Do you know her? And he said, unfortunately, I don't know her, but I can advise you to go to the shop further on, and you can ask there. So I thanked this man, terima kasih Pak, so and then we went further. And we stopped at the shop, and there was a man in the shop, and asked her if he would know this Ibu Jumira. But I was very disappointed to hear the same answer. Sorry, maaf Pak, we don't know.
No.
So, but what you can do is go to the village head.
Next. Oh.
The village head, Pak Duko. So, and we asked him, where does he live? He said, it's not far from me, just go straight, and I think a couple houses straight you will find that house. You just go into that part and you will find him, ask for him. So I followed the advice again. I said to my wife, okay, I hope this is the last one. Because after all these disappointments, I was hoping, okay, if we don't find it today, we can always do it tomorrow and the day after. Okay, so I went to his house, he found the address, and I said, Kula nuwun. So that's what you say when you ask permission to enter someone's home. Right? I think you know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then from behind the house, I heard bongo. Someone said bongo. So we went at the back of the house, and I saw someone busy. I think he was performing this ablution, the wudu, because it was, I think, Salat Zuhur time, and he wanted to perform the Salat. So he told us, please wait at my office. His office was actually the living room in his house.
Okay.
Yes, that was his office, and where he used to gather people should come to him because he's the village head after all. Okay, we waited there for a couple of minutes, and then he came, and then he said, and then asked us, so how can I help you? I told him the same story, Pak. We are from Suriname. My name is Erick Rahmat Moertabat, and I'm from Suriname. And I'm studying here as a student at ONY. And then he said, from Suriname? I said, yes. Okay, for me, that was surprising because a man like him, and at his age, he knows where Suriname is. Otherwise, you would difficultly find students knowing where Suriname is.
Yes, I know.
Yes, so students would not know where Suriname is.
Yeah.
Because for them, the history and the history books do not tell about Suriname. So, but he knows, and I said to my wife, he knows where Suriname is, right? So and then he said, are you from Paramaribo? Again, I was surprised that he knows Paramaribo. Paramaribo is the capital of Suriname.
Oh.
Students don't know Suriname, let alone the capital. I said, yes, but I'm from Paramaribo. And then he said, do you know someone by the name of Wajib? I said, Wajib is my grandfather.
Ah.
The moment I said that, his reaction was actually the most important thing that happened on that day. He didn't say anything. He didn't respond with any word. He stood up and came to me, and he started embracing me.
Oh.
So I was actually forced to stand
I
up.
get goosebumps when you said that.
Yes. He started embracing me, and he held me very tight and started to cry. And we were standing. And while we were standing, he hugging me, and I tried to awkwardly hug him also. My wife was behind him, and then she did like this. What happened? Because it was a surprise. I don't know what happened. And then I said, while I was hugging him too, I said, I don't know. I don't know. And then he continued to cry. He cried, but it was a cry of happiness. I could see the cry of happiness. So when he finished and cooled down, he said, the person you are looking for is not Jumira, it's Jamira, and I am her little brother.
Her little brother.
Little brother,
So he's your uncle.
my uncle.
Awesome. You find your brother, and I got goosebumps
And
when you're telling
all
that.
that happened within one day,
Yes.
one afternoon. You see, my purpose of coming to Indonesia was one part to study and the other part to fulfill the wish of my father to find the family. So that's how I found my family.
Wow.
And after that he said, wait here, just wait here. So he went out and he came with this elder brother. And then he did the same thing. He started hugging me and crying also. And we started talking and then, okay, I will now call someone.
Okay.
And then he called, I think, 2 or 3 people. These
Everybody
sisters,
came.
my aunts came. So on that day I met 5 family members, 2 uncles and 3 aunts.
And suddenly you have a lot of families here.
I have. So
amazing.
with regard to family in Yogyakarta, I have found all of them, and I have also established a contact again. I said again because before, my father used to write to this aunt.
Oh, okay.
But when she moved to Solo, because her husband was someone from the government, so he went to Solo. He was assigned to work in Solo. So he went to Solo and she went with him, and from that time they didn't have that communication anymore.
Oh.
And then he told me that day, today we will not meet this Ibu Jamira, but after 2 weeks we will have this family gathering, the Arisan. That is something that they have, the trah, they have every month. So that they came and we had a very, very warm welcome, and I met this lady, Ibu Jamira.
Wow.
And when I met this, I was very emotional. She was emotional, I was emotional, and he started kissing me all over my face. So that's the whole story. That's the way I found my family. I am very lucky, I can say that, because many Surinamese are trying to find their roots in Indonesia, and I am one of the lucky ones.
So until now, there's a lot of Javanese root people actually has a descendant here in Java.
Yeah, yes.
Still looking for their family.
Still looking.
Oh,
Still
okay.
looking, but
you are so lucky.
I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yes, you were one of the lucky
one of
ones,
the
definitely.
rare lucky ones, I can say.
So I'm a little bit curious. Is all Suriname people who descend from the Javanese culture, you have in original Indonesian faces?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes. So as I told you, my grandmother from my father's side is from Jogja.
And your wife is Suriname or?
My wife is a Surinamese, and she is
Originally?
No, it's an Indian descendant.
Oh, Indian
Yeah,
descendant.
jadi orang India ya.
Oh, yeah.
So my grandfather from my father's side is from Sidoarjo, Surabaya, but my grandfather and grandmother from my mother's side they are Sudanese people, but I haven't found that part of the family yet. I'm still looking. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, we should say not yet.
How long you're gonna be here?
Well, I have this assignment for 4 years. So inshallah, God permit, if I have the time, I have already made a plan to go to Garut and Sumedang to find
Originally from Garut.
Garut and Sumedang.
Wow, Garut and Sumedang. And you still have 2 jobs there.
Yes. So I've also found all the family members in Surabaya.
Okay.
And I also have family in Sumatra.
In Sumatra, which part?
Pasaman Barat.
Padang.
No. Pasaman.
Yeah, in West Sumatra, I mean.
Yeah. If you know the place of Tongar, this is where the repatriates from Indonesia. They came back to Indonesia and they were placed in Sumatra to live there.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. So my uncle was one of them. When he came, he was 17, and I have made efforts to reunite him with his brothers and sisters after 50 something more years with them. So after 50, he met his brothers and sisters, including my mother. So for him, that was a milestone in his life to see his brothers and sisters again. Anyhow, I have a lot of family here in Indonesia, in Jogja, most of them in Jogja, and then lesser part in Surabaya,
and West Java
and also in Jakarta.
And also in West Sumatra.
Yeah, in West Sumatra.
You're a complete detail of Indonesians there.
Yeah, yes. So as you guys said here, kerasan, saya ini kerasan di Indonesia, apalagi terutama di Jogja.
Because you found your family root here in Indonesia. It's amazing.
So after that, I have built bridges between family members, between Suriname and Jogja, between Suriname and Surabaya. Now they are just communicating with each other.
Amazing. You built a new empire.
Yeah,
you can say that.
You can say it that way, yes, because now they're independent now, so they communicate with each other just like that, without asking me what this means and what that means, you know. Yeah, so that is my family short story.
It's a little story from Suriname by Mr. Ambassador.
Yes.
So, when you were assigned here in Indonesia, did you feel at first that you need to find your family immediately, or you have to do your first task first?
No, I have found my family already.
Before you were assigned here?
Yes, before. So that was in 2004, and in 2005 I found them for the first time. So me as ambassador of Suriname to Indonesia, I'm not focusing on that anymore because the relation already established. It's completely established. Suriname now is known by the Indonesia family and vice versa. So they know each other now, more than I know them.
It's amazing. The story is so amazing.
Yes.
And through this Diaspora's event, did you feel very lucky to find the people which has a similar faith with you?
Well, actually, this thing is very amazing.
We can say it faith, right?
Yeah, it is. It is because we have common histories. Yes, and if you look at how they got there in Suriname and also New Caledonia and Australia and Malaysia, Singapore, they all have a little bit of some common things, and backgrounds. My grandmother, for example, she went to Suriname for a very strange and funny reason. They told me that she was supposed to marry someone, but she didn't like him, so she went to Suriname. So that is the story of what they told me last. I don't know if that's true because the stories can differ, from person to person. And then again, we have the story of my grandfather in Surabaya. He was a suspicious man, they say. So they never knew the reason why he went to Suriname. And then, likewise, you have other stories of people, going to Suriname those days with different reasons. But alhamdulillah, what we have achieved in Suriname is that we have, maintained our roots. We have established the connection, and we try to, like you said, and the purpose that we are here today. We have been able to maintain our culture and also our language. See? And for some people, they have maintained better than people here in Indonesia. That is as far as the Javanese language is concerned. Because we have maintained that language, and with the grammar that we knew before, what my grandfather and my father knew before, so they have maintained that. And we kept using the language as it is, or as it was taught to us in those days.
It's amazing, Pak. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. I've been interrupting you in the middle of the show.
No, it's my pleasure. The honor is mine.
Yes, thank you very much.